Welcome to another edition of Lakeville City Council Wrap-Up. During this program, we will highlight the agenda items presented to the Lakeville City Council at their May 18th, 2015 meeting. First highlighted item on the agenda is item number 5A, Parks and Recreation Department Monthly Report. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is Parks and Recreation Director Brett Altergott.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the Council. This is the April 2015 Parks and Recreation Department Monthly Report. Starting off at the Arts Center, we had 2 movies in April, and they were funded through the State Arts Board operational grant that we received. And we did this to kind of try something new and gauge what the interest would be in bringing in like a classical movie series. The first one, The Wizard of Oz, was done on the 11th, and it was a Saturday show. It was pretty well attended. Again, mixed crowd, people coming from outside of our community, which was encouraging. And then the Goonies was done on a Thursday night. Again, an off night in between a couple of different performances. And again, the people that attended, it did very well. They were very pleased. So we're hoping to expand upon that and continue to do this, and hopefully that it just grows into a major event for us. Also at the Arts Center, one of the classes there, we had 203 people so far this year participate in art programs. The one you see there is a wine and design. They did Van Gogh's Starry Night program, or painting I should say. We also had One Book, One Lakeville. We had over 250 attend that event. And our Did You Know fact, we just want to point out that the art supplies that we use in our class are artist grade, and many of our instructors have art educational background. So it's not just somebody off the street that just likes to do art. They've studied it and are very skilled at teaching art. On the park maintenance side, we had the tree sale, the annual sale. We sold 294 trees this year, which is up considerably over last year, but with all the building going on and landscaping and trees that need to be put in, we had a really good year with the tree sales. And this year marked, or 2014 marked, the 22nd consecutive year that we've been recognized as Tree City USA in Lakeville. Also on the maintenance side, this bench, you see the name Lincoln on it. That's a bench in memory of Lincoln Hendrickson. Lincoln was a 3-year-old who passed away last summer right before the playground opened. He was a part of the Miracle League. He played there. And the neighbors where Lincoln grew up, they went out, fundraised in their neighborhood, and then ordered the bench themselves. And then it was donated to the city. And we put that in his memory. The same week we put that in, the Miracle League retired his number. So it was a very, very special, very moving. The family is extremely happy to see it there. It was hard for them to part. It was in their living room all winter long. Also, as we began, of course, April, very busy laying out fields and striping fields, but we had really good weather through April to get that done. And in the past 2 years, we've been racing to the finish line to get the fields striped. We were able to get them done this year, but we were not racing. Also began the infield dragging of softball and baseball fields, and we do that on all the fields in the city. That's the one thing we do on school district properties. We do drag the infields for the youth associations. Also, we had the Free Family Fun Fest. We had over 1,100 attend this event. Again, that was April 11th, was a very busy day for us. Also had a movie here, and that was Big Hero 6. So, and that was really well attended.
Can we stop for a second? That's my niece Haley, actually. I'm just noticing that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the right.
That's good placement of pictures tonight, huh?
That's great. Yep. Good job.
Creative. Brett, creative.
Yes.
Did you know that?
No, I did not. But I'm taking a mental note right now. Right. Also in recreation, we had 11 couples participate in dance lessons. And those are held at the Heritage Center. I could have used that a few years ago. We had 43 participate in the Tiny Tots turf soccer. We fluctuate, 40's the limit, 50's the max that we've taken. So 43 were able to clear the waiting list this year. So it continues to be a very successful program for us. We also sold, we get 150 tickets at the Disney on Ice. This year it was Frozen, I believe. We sold all 150 tickets. And Learn to Skate, we had 153 participants, and that's a partnership that we have with the Lakeville Arenas. Our Did You Know fact, we just wanted to point out that the Pup and Wagon is 100% funded through grants and donations by the Lakeville Rotary Club and Cosmopolitan Orthodontics. So they take care of that. And that's a change from a couple of years ago where we had to subsidize it just a little bit, but we will be 100% funded this year. At the Heritage Center, we had the Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon. We had over 120 of our volunteers show up for the luncheon. And throughout the year, we have over 200 volunteers who help us at the Heritage Center, doing a variety of things from greeting, setting up tables, instructing programs, you name it, to get 200 volunteers. That is amazing. So once a year, we do thank them with the Appreciation Luncheon. And we want to point out one of our many programs, the Men's Golf League, had their organizational meeting. This is the only time of the year that we'll see them. The rest of the year, they'll be meeting at the golf course. Also, what we've been doing, just the numbers you see before you end the last senior year. The new one started on May 1st. So the numbers that we ended with, we had 1,067 members of the active adults, and you can see the breakdown there. And I just want to point out again that it was through April 30th, because you see the prices are still the old prices. And on May 1st, we started a new pricing structure. We had 26 new members in April. And also at the Heritage Center, we're up 194% in rentals as compared to this time a year ago. And to date, with the new fee structure, we're at 580 members as compared to 480 through the same time a year ago. So we're very pleased with the progress that we've made. Upcoming events, we have a lasagna dinner for active adults, Pedal the Parks Tour 1. That's a fun event. I'll be attending the first one like I have the previous 2 years, so I encourage any of you who want to get out and just go for a leisurely ride to come and join us. And that'll be on June 13th. We have Jeepers Peepers at Ritter Farm Park, and the Puppet Wagon begins in June. So everything's getting kicked off here as we get near the end of the school year. And with that, that completes the April report, and I'll take any questions that you have.
Next highlighted item on the agenda is item number 5B, Police Department Monthly Report. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is Chief of Police Jeff Long.
Just a little bit of April news. We hired 3 new employees that you see the picture of right in the center. 2 of them are sworn officers. The 3rd will be brought on board in June. She's currently working as a CSO to help transition her time in. We worked on our annual qualification shoot at the Jordan Gun Range. We got all of our officers through, everyone qualified. There's information about the new employees. And then we held the rabies clinic. Had about the same turnout as we did last year. And then we had a lot of coverage on the Rucky girls that went missing about 2 years ago. Star Tribune has done a few articles on them. We're trying to bring a little bit more publicity to that and hopefully bring them home safely. Some notable cases in April. We had a check fraud, a little over $2,000 at Mills Fleet Farm. Theft from vehicles. We, in the early mornings, we stopped some people that fled on foot, and they had been car prowling, not in our city, but in the adjoining cities. We recovered the property that they had stolen that night. It was good work by our officers. We had somebody what we call a rollout thefts, where they fill the carts up and just basically run out the door. And you can see throughout the different places, usually they take meats that they can resell. You can see the total loss was $9,000. Lakeville was just one of many cities. We also tend to lose the baby goods, baby formula, diapers, things of that, things that they can resell. And finally, we had a stalking incident in which a person violated a harassment order over 15 times, ended up being charged with stalking and 7 counts of violating the order. Burglary. This was an interesting, it's a crime ring out of Texas in which Asian business owners' homes are burglarized. And they typically do their research before they come to town, but Eden Prairie had been hit the week before us, and we got hit, and they're a known group out of Texas. Spotlight on mental health. In April, 37 mental health calls. We had 18 suicide threats and 7 actual attempts. We had no successes, fortunately, in the month. May has not had the same luck. May started out a little bit rough. There's just some indications. It's all over the board again, different ages, different genders. The good news is in this crisis response team that we've developed, We actually had one of our officers talk to Dakota County Crisis Center. They might actually become part of our team also, where they're going to help review some of the crisis calls and maybe even help respond out to some of the calls. So we'll see how that goes, but it seems to be getting a little bit of attention. Part 1 crimes year to date, you're going to find most of these are pretty similar to last year, but we're well over the first quarter in the year. You can kind of see where we're at. Property crimes, again, you're not going to find much different than what we've had in the past. These are the calls where we're just responding to citizens' complaints. Medical emergencies are up just a little bit. Animal calls are down. Alarms are about the same. Suspicious people, I've noticed this trending upward throughout the year. It seems like we're getting a lot more calls from people that are noticing odd things going on in their neighborhood, which we're very happy about. We'd prefer that they call us and we find nothing than not calling at all, so that's a good trend. And there's a little bit of our crisis calls for April. CAD incidents, we're about 1,000 over last year. We're keeping quite busy. Where are those things taking place? Traffic crashes are about the same. Speed citations are up quite a bit because we're doing a lot more traffic. If you go on our Facebook page today, there was an interesting post in which somebody was stopped and they were thanking us for making the traffic stop and appreciated the job we did. So that's an interesting response. But DUIs were down a little bit this month. Traffic stops in general, as you probably see from some of the shift summaries that I'm sending out, the traffic stops aren't obviously resulting in citations. A lot of them are just educational, but we're also finding a bunch of people that have either narcotics or marijuana warrants, driving after revocation, things of that sort, by just making the traffic stops. Get those people off the road. These are the people we share the road with, and we don't want them driving. Periodically we get calls about people saying, you know, I'm not seeing officers in my neighborhood conducting traffic enforcement. We kind of broke the city down where we're going. We actually are into neighborhoods. We're at major intersections also because that's where the majority of accidents are occurring. But we're also spending time throughout people's neighborhoods and trying to make ourselves visible. So we're up 83%. I think this will be a pretty consistent number over the next few years. Total speed citations, you know, that's a bit deceiving when it says 208% because we had so few last year that I think we're just getting up to where we really should be. DWI arrests are down. As you will know on your agenda tonight, there is a DUI officer. We hope to bring that number way up. We know that the people are out there driving drunk. It's just a matter of finding the number of officers to take the time to arrest them. Each DWI arrest takes around 2 to 2.5 hours to process, and when you only have 3 or 4 officers on at night, if you get a couple tied up on DUIs, pretty much makes the response times go up considerably for the rest of the officers. These are our dispatch calls, just comparing it to those that are similar to us in surrounding suburbs. As you can see, this is, I thought this would begin to trend downward throughout the year, but it's actually not. The call load we're taking is pretty comparable to Burnsville and Egan.
Next highlighted item on the agenda is item number 7, to change outdoor patio hours in the C-CBD and O-R districts. And to provide the information regarding this agenda item is City Planner Darryl Morey.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. As you know, the outdoor patio hours of operation item has been discussed quite a few times over the past year at City Council meetings and work sessions. In fact, at your November 3rd meeting last year, the Council approved an amendment to the City Code that extended the hours of operation for businesses with outdoor patios within 150 feet of residential districts at the time. In the C1, C2, and C3 districts, to 11 o'clock Sunday through Thursday and midnight Friday and Saturday nights. In the OR and CCBD districts, the hours stayed the same as originally approved in 2008, which is from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. At the April 6th council meeting, when the City Council was discussing the liquor and patio license for Motley Cruz Heavy Metal Grill. There was some discussion regarding the outdoor patio hours downtown in the CCBD district, and the council expressed an interest to revisit that particular item. So it was scheduled for your April 27th work session. Several options were discussed at the work session, and a couple things that came out of that was, first of all, to change the term residential district to residential use, which you just approved by approving the consent agenda, and also to have a discussion regarding extending the hours in the OR and CCBD districts until midnight on Friday and Saturday nights, and to receive public input on that particular consideration. So in the downtown district, for example, Babe Sports Bar is currently located within 150 feet of residential uses, and the new Motley Cruz Heavy Metal Grill and the Angry Inch Brewing Company, they're both proposing outdoor patios that will be within 150 feet of a residential use at Main Street Manor. As you've also heard, there is potentially a brew pub use that will be going into the former VFW building, which sits right behind the former Ace Hardware, where Heavy Metal Grill and Angry Inch are going. That, again, could have an outdoor patio within 150 feet of residential uses. So, therefore, what staff did following the April 27th work session was to send out a letter to residents, again, within 150 feet of Babes, and also the former Ace Hardware and VFW buildings, and also to all of the residents in the downtown area that were involved with the patio discussion last year, whether it was at council meeting or special meeting or letters received. And that letter went out and informed the residents of this evening's meeting and that discussion topic. And as you can see, included in your packet material, we've received a number of letters and emails. In fact, the most recent of which came in today, and you have copies of all of those. So the proposed amendment that's before you this evening from the city code is, again, to change the hours of operation in the CCBD and OR district for the outdoor patios on Friday and Saturday nights only till midnight. And I can stand for any questions.
Item number 7 was tabled to the June 1st, 2015 meeting. Well, those were the items presented to the council at their May 18th, 2015 meeting. If you have any questions or comments regarding these agenda items, please feel free to call City Hall. The number is 952-985-4400. Thanks for watching this edition of Lakeville City Council Wrap-Up. Hey, I'm a dog singing the doggy-doo blues. Dogs must be leashed when out of their own yards. If you're walking a dog, clean up if it leaves a gift. Take the poo and put it in a bag. Throw it out, dispose of the stuff in a sanitary way. Throw it out. If you do this, you'll keep our parks and nature clean. Be a responsible pet owner and clean up after your dog. I know I would.